I know a lot of tarot readers will say that you shouldn't read your cards very regularly, or that you shouldn't have a regular reading. That may be true if you're a prediction based reader, but if you're reading tarot to support your mental health, then actually you can read daily, and I often do read daily for myself. I'm going to share a reading that I did for myself that really yet again blew my mind, as tarot so often does. So this is an example of my reflection spread, and I use this very regularly on myself and on clients, and it's a check-in, because sometimes we think we're doing really well, but we're actually distracting ourselves and not doing what we want to be doing. And other times we think we're failing, we don't appreciate that life's really tough, and we're actually doing very well. So the point of a what I call my reflection spread is to check in and say, am I doing how I think I'm doing? So normally I do live spreads and I shuffle and do them as I'm recording. This time I did the spreads just as soon as I got up, first thing in the morning, and it was so reflective of how I was feeling. I felt really drawn to share it here. So basically how I've been feeling is unsettled, ungrounded, uncertain of myself professionally. And that's really unusual for me. I may feel like that in my private life an awful lot, or financially. But when it comes to my professional life and my spiritual life, I normally feel really confident, because I've dedicated myself to this since 1999 basically. So it's something I normally feel quite assured about. And we're just back from a really important trip for me to Norway, and I was hoping that when I came back I would have more clarity, and what I find is I have less, and that's been unsettling me. So this was the reading I did for myself, and the first card, the central card to represent me, is the Two of Wands. Now I feel, when I look at the Two of Wands, I always feel a lot of indecision, somebody who is uncertain of themselves. To me, this is a card of hope. He holds the whole world in his hand. He's looking out over that beautiful vista, but anxiety. One of the wands, now wands represent our energy and our enthusiasm, is bolted to the wall here. I want this feeling of I need certainty. And the other isn't even on the floor, it's on the wall. And I always look at this painting here of the white lilies and the red roses. It's a painting. It's not like the Magician or the Ace of Pentacles, where they're really, real flowers in the painting, as that were. And I always think of that as a blueprint. A feeling of, I know what I want to do, but I haven't committed to doing it yet. And I've talked on previous videos about wanting to write another book, wanting to write more. Yesterday I really sat down and went through my notes, and I've started my rune law book and my shamanics books about 4 times. I was really surprised to see how many times I've started it, maybe got 4, 5, 6,000 words in, and then just ditched it and started again. So this idea of I know what I want, but I feel too anxious to commit to it. What's crossing me, and in this spread that I put a crossing card because I don't read reversals. I think that every card is a complex blend of the good and the bad, so I don't do reversals. But the card that's crossing is a block or something I need to integrate. The Ace of Cups is love, and I do struggle with feeling loved, particularly following my marriage breakdown. And as I tell clients all the time, and I'm irritated to tell myself, if you can't love yourself, you can't love someone else. Because with the Ace of Cups, the water is flowing from inside the heart space, and I think of the cup as the heart space out. So I need to love myself more. I was kind of surprised to see the Five of Cups in the unconscious. I feel when it comes to sort of, the marriage breakdown and such, like I'm doing okay. I'm happier now than I was in the last years of my marriage. So I think this isn't, and one of the things with reading tarot, the way that you have to adapt to reading tarot is to see the bigger picture. So this doesn't have to be grief and sadness. I don't have to still define myself, in that role. But the Five of Cups can be letting go of things that don't work. And because my unsettled nature is to do with my work, I think this is about letting go of the things that aren't working to fully appreciate what I have that could work better. And I think that's to do with work. The card for my past, and obviously I'll have to kind of scooch it around a little bit, it's Queen of Pentacles, mother. And, my youngest is 14. My eldest is coming home next week from America. So I'm really pleased to be able to see her again. But, I am still a full-time mum, but my kids don't need as much from me as they have done in the past. So there is a shift there. And the card in my head is the Two of Swords. So obviously we've got two twos now, because we've got the Two of Wands as well. Linking that to the amount of effort I have put and continue to many degrees still put into being a mum, the Queen of Pentacles. Linking that to the Ace of Cups, needing to love myself more. There's a feeling for me here with the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands of just not pushing it. And for me, oddly, writing isn't pushing it because it's a very introverted sort of thing that I enjoy doing. A feeling of when it comes to my business, don't make big decisions now. Just spend, a bit. It's August. I'm still very busy, but I don't have as many clients as I normally would because people are on holiday, because I've booked time off to be with the kids. And a feeling with the Two of Swords of that's okay. Just don't overthink this feeling of being unsettled. Don't overthink this feeling of anxiety. Just feel my way through it. And I guess, like many people, when I am feeling anxious and unsettled, I tend to go into busy mode. And in some ways that's Queen of Pentacles, hustling, bustling, let's tidy up, let's make a plan, let's get busy. Instead of actually sitting with something doesn't feel right, I need to let it change, I need to let go of things. I'm not just going to busy myself out of this. And that's quite difficult for me not to do. And energy coming in the future, now it's the Hierophants. And classically, I would associate the Hierophant with teacher. And the interesting thing here is, does that mean I have a new teacher coming in? That could be interesting. I currently don't have a teacher. Arguably, I've never had a teacher for tarot. I'm very much, I won't say I'm self-taught because I stand on the back of giants like Rachel Pollock, who I've learned through books, but I've never had a personal tarot teacher. I have had personal shaman teachers, but I don't have one at the moment. So could that be a teacher coming in? Could that be a writing teacher? Interesting thought, possibly. Or could that be me stepping more into a teaching role? I do a surprising amount of teaching, both rune lore tarot and shamanics. But it's something that tends to have grown naturally rather than me sort of stepping forward and saying, this is what I do. I don't know. And I think one of the best things I can say to you as a tarot reader is it's okay to say, I don't know. Nobody can know everything about a spread all the time. So, I am quite comfortable saying to a client, it's a teacher. At this point, based on this reading, I am not sure whether that means you stepping into the teaching role or whether that means a teacher coming in for you. Because I'm not here to define, I'm here to read the cards. The card at the bottom of the pack is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, to me, the Ten of Pentacles can mean community. One of the things I'm really keen on doing is redefining my teaching as a community space, because it is the learning from each other, the connection from each other, the being supported and inspired by each other where I think the magic really happens. So, for example, my tarot, I do a monthly tarot Zoom workshop, which up to this point has very much been me teaching, and I'm redefining that oddly from today, where I'm going to be leaving more space for people to ask questions and for other people to put their input in, so that it's not just me saying, oh, that's your question, this is the answer, but it's other people saying, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, which I think is how we learn so much more deeply. So it could be community, but it could also, and it could represent both, be financially stable, because it has been a struggle the last few years, and I would like not to have to work excruciating hours. I would like to have enough income that I can have a good work-life balance. So it could be either. And so I would say the reading captures me perfectly and really acknowledges that I feel an anxiety about what comes next, and that my natural tendency would be to overbusy, overwork, be productive. But the cards are saying that I'm right not to make a decision, that I'm right to sit in that uncertainty and allow whatever needs to come up. One thing you can do, and I'm just shuffling the rest of the cards, I've got this spread left out. So if you're not sure on what a card means, ask. So when you're asking, I think it's really important you decide for yourself, am I pulling one card, 5 cards, don't just keep pulling until you get the card you want. So I'm shuffling and I'm going to just pull one card. I want to know more about the Hierophant. Does it mean that I'm going to be teaching more? Does it mean that a teacher is coming in for me? Or does it mean that I'm going to be working perhaps with other groups or organizations? Because the link between the Hierophant and the Ten of Pentacles could be other groups and organizations. I've been a bit of a maverick in my spiritual life, and I've never particularly aligned with anyone else. I've always done things my own way. So let's have a look. Just one card for the Hierophant. A 6 of Cups. I have issues with the 6 of Cups. It is about feeling safe. It is about childhood wounds as well, but it could be about an establishment. So it may be, I'm just putting it out there, it may be that I have a role teaching within an organization or an establishment. I've never sought that, but it might give me the stability that I'm seeking right now. Card at the bottom of the pack, I do always check, even though I said I was only pulling one card. We've got to check the card at the bottom of the pack, right? Queen of Swords. So, and again, classically, a Queen of Swords can very often be a single or a divorced woman. And on one level, that can link to the Queen of Cups, because a reading can have multi-layers. So on one level, this may be suggesting that I'm going through the last stages of grief following my relationship breakup, and that I'm finally feeling truly emotionally single. It's going to be 3.5 years, but then it was a 17-year marriage with 4 kids, so it's not an easy separation. But the Queen of Cups can also be a writer. The whole suit of swords is about the mind and the word, so it can be about writing. So this may be that I am writing for a publisher, possibly, can't imagine it, it's not the kind of thing I would do, or that in some way I am aligning myself with an organization or a group or something bigger than myself. Who knows is the answer. I did do another reading yesterday where I got the moon as the outcome. And for me, the moon is what I call a blocking card, which is you don't have enough information, stop asking. I love it when the cards say that. So the fact that I'm not certain, and if there's one thing I am good at, it's tarot, is saying that my mind, the pieces aren't in place yet. My mind can't understand this yet. It's okay. And so for me, what a reading like this says is that I'm on the right path. I don't need to panic. What I'm really checking in a reading like this is, am I procrastinating? Am I using this as an excuse to not do anything? Or am I right to be sitting with it? And the cards are saying I'm right to be sitting with it. If you're doing this for yourself, I really, really, really recommend a journal. And I do journal. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do with my cup of coffee next. I have a book. I will write the name of the card, and then I will write what it's meaning to me at this point. And then the really powerful thing about the journal is to go back and read it. And I've got a series of readings that are all saying, don't take action, don't make decisions, sit with it, it's okay. So there's a constant theme there. I hope that's been helpful, and I'll be back to share more ways that I read tarot, about how, mixing my words, I read tarot for myself.